Good morning, students. Today I am continuing with chapter number 2nd, and the name of the chapter is inverse trigonometric functions. So first we will continue with the introduction part of this chapter. In class 11 we studied that trigonometric functions are not 1, 1 and onto in their natural domain and range, so that their inverse do not exist. But in this chapter we shall study about the restriction on domain and range of trigonometric functions, which ensure the existence of their inverse and observe their behavior through graphical representation. This chapter play a very vital role in the field of calculus, integration, or it is also very helpful in the field of science and engineering. So just I will recall the concept of domain, range and codomain with the help of one example, so that we will continue with the other parts of this chapter very easily. So I am taking one example here. Let set A, this is equals to 1, 2, 3 up to 14, and I am taking one relation here because relation is also a type of a function. So if I am saying relation R is equal to x comma y, which is known as a order pair, and this is equivalent to 3x minus y equals to 0. Okay, so how can we will make the relation in form of order pair? So what we will do, first we will put the value of x as 1. If we will put the value of x equals to 1, then what is the value of y? It becomes 3. Then I will put x equals to 2, so it will come 6. Then I will put 3, so it becomes 9. And then I will put 4, so it becomes 12. If I am putting x equals to 5 here, then it becomes 15, which is not the member of set A. So these four order pair are related with this relation if this set A is related with 1 to 14. So with the help of this relation, how can we will identify domain? So what is domain? Domain is related with x, or we can say the first element of this order pair. So the first element of the order pair is 1, 2, 3 and 4. It means we will write here 1, 2, 3 and 4. As you see here, all these elements are the first element of these order pair. Now we will come to on range. So range is related with the second element of the order pair. So second element is 3, 6, 9 and 12, which we will write here 3, 6, 9 and 12. And what about codomain? Codomain includes range as well as set A also. So it becomes 1, 2, 3 and up to 14. So it is just the recalling of domain, range and codomain. So again I am repeating, domain means first element of the order pair, which is equivalent to x, and range is second element of the order pair. And what is codomain? Codomain includes range as well as set A. So what is given in set A? 1 to 14, so that we can say domain is 1 to 14, and it also includes the value of range. So I hope with the help of this example you will solve very easily the value of domain and range. Now I am continuing with domain and range of trigonometric functions. So as you see in this table, these are the functions domain and range. So first we will continue with the function sine. If function is sine, then domain is R. R means real number, and range is minus 1 to 1 in closed interval. For cos function, domain is R, and again range is minus 1 to 1. For tan, domain is R minus x, such that x equals to 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Here n belongs to z. It means 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. It is the odd multiples of pi by 2. If we put any value of n, here n is integer, then we will get the domain of tan functions, and its range is again real number. If we continue with the cot, it is r minus x, such that equals to n pi. N pi means it is the integral multiples of pi, where again n belongs to z and the range is real number. And same for sec and cosec, we can say r minus x, such that x equals to 2n plus 1 pi by 2. N belongs to z. It means again here we can say pi by 2 is the odd multiples, odd we can say domain for sec is r minus this. It means if we subtract the odd multiples of pi by 2 from r, we will get the domain for sec function, and this time the range is r minus open interval minus 1 to 1. It means for range for sec we will not include minus 1 and 1, we will deduct minus 1 and 1 from real number. Same for the cosec also. So with the help of this table we will easily identify the domain and range. And if we want to calculate how can we say the range and domain for the sine function is r, so what we will do, for example, if we are taking y equals to sine x, okay, so we will put different value of x. The value of x is related with domain, and what we will get, that is the value of y, and y is related with range. So if we put different value of x, then we will get different value of y. So we will easily identify yes, what is domain and what is range. So for example, if I am putting x equals to pi by 2, so what is sine pi by 2? If I am putting x equals to pi by 2, then sine pi by 2 is 1. If I am putting x equals to 0, then sine 0 is 0. So with the same method we will put different value. What we are putting, that is related with domain, and what we are getting, that is related with range. And same thing we will do with the other trigonometric functions also, and we will easily identify domain and range. Now I am continuing with the inverse function. So in chapter number 1, we learned that if f x approaches to y such that fx equals to y, then f is 1 1 and on 2. On the same time, if we define a unique function g from y to x such that gy equals to x, where small x belongs to capital X and small y belongs to capital Y, then we can say domain of G, this is equals to range of f, and domain of f, this is equals to range of G. It means G is the inverse of f, and we can say G is also 1 1 and on 2. It means if we are taking the inverse of G, it can be written as this, or the value of G inverse is f. So we can say f inverse OF x, it can be written as f inverse fx, and the value of fx is y. So we will write here f inverse y, and f inverse y we will write from here, this is equals to x. Or if we are taking f inverse y, then it can be written as f inverse y, and the value of f inverse y from here, it is x, and what is the value of fx? This is equals to y. So with the help of this concept, we solve the question which are based on inverse function. We know that for trigonometric function sin x, domain is a set of all real numbers and range is -1 to 1. But if we restrict the domain of sine function as -pi by 2 to pi by 2, then it is 1 1 and on 2 with range -1 and 1. Actually, we restricted sine function in any of the intervals as -3 pi by 2 to -pi by 2, -pi by 2 to pi by 2, and pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2. So we can say this trigonometric function is 1 1 and onto in all these intervals with range -1 and 1 and -1 and 1. So if we define the inverse of sine function, then it can be defined as sine inverse, and it can also be written as R sine function. So this time the domain of sine inverse is -1 and 1, and its range is any one of the intervals. It means we can say sine inverse domain is -1 to 1 and range is -π/2 to π/2, and this -π/2 to π/2 is known as principal value branch, whereas the other intervals -3π/2 to -π/2, π/2 to 3π/2 and so on gives different branch of sine inverse. It means we can say for sine inverse domain is -1 to 1 and range is -π/2 to π/2, which is also known as principal value branch. It means we can say for sine inverse x domain is -1 to 1 and whereas range is -π/2 to π/2, and from the definition of inverse function we can say sine inverse x can be written as x, and here x is greater than equals to -1 and less than equals to +1, and sine inverse sine x can be written as x, and here the value of x is greater than equals to -π/2 and less than equals to -π/2. It means we can say sine inverse x equals to y can also be written as x equals to sine y. So with the help of this concept, we will easily identify the domain and range of any type of inverse trigonometric function. Now I am continuing with the domain and range of inverse trigonometric function. Earlier I told about the domain and range of trigonometric function, but this time I am telling here about the domain and range of inverse trigonometric function, and it is the vice versa of that previous table. It means in sin x, the thing which is related with domain, it becomes range here, and the thing which is related with range in trigonometric function, it becomes domain here. As you see here, for y equals to sine inverse x, domain is -1 and 1, and range is -π/2 to π/2, which is also known as principal value branch. For cos inverse x, again domain is same and the range is 0 to pi in closed interval. For tan inverse x, domain is set of real numbers, whereas range is -π/2 to π/2 in upper interval. Y equals to cot inverse x, this time domain is R and the range is 0 to pi in open interval, and for y equals to sec inverse x, this time domain is R minus -1 and 1 in open interval. It means the value which is lie between -1 to 1 we will not take here, that will deduct from R. And what about the range, that is 0 to pi minus π/2, it means we will not include π/2 in range. Same for the cosec inverse x, this time again the domain as sec inverse x and -π/2 to π/2 minus 0, it means in this interval for range we will not include 0 for cosec inverse x. So again I am repeating, this is the table, just vice versa of the table of trigonometric function. In sine inverse x, domain is -1 and 1, and in trigonometric function range is -1 and 1, and in inverse trigonometric function range is -π/2 to π/2, which is the part of set of real number, and this -π/2 to π/2, it is related with the, you can say, domain in trigonometric functions. Same for the other inverse trigonometric functions. So if the table related with trigonometric function is clear to you, then you will easily write the domain and range of inverse trigonometric function, because we know very well y equals to sine inverse x can be written as x equals to sine y. So if we put different value of y, then we will get different value of x, and we know this thing, x is related with you can say domain and y is related with range. So with the help of this table, we will identify the any value related with domain and range. Range is also known as principal value branch, and this table is very important for solving the question which is related with principal value. And this time in this chapter we will go only with 2.1, that is related only with the principal value, and other things this time or this session are not in our course, such as graph or some properties of inverse trigonometric function. That's why this table is very important. With the help of this table, we will solve any question which is related with the principal value branch. Now I am continuing with some question and answer of inverse trigonometric function. So first we start with exercise 2.1, and I am taking question number second, and the question is how can we will find the value of cos inverse under root 3 by 2. So how can we will give the answer? Let y equals to cos inverse under root 3 upon 2. So we will write here, we know that principal value branch of cos inverse is closed interval 0 to pi. So y equals to cos inverse, and under root 3 upon 2 in the table of cos, it is possible at cos pi by 6. So cos inverse and cos both will cancel, and we will get y equals to pi by 6, or it can be written as cos inverse under root 3 upon 2. This is equals to pi by 6, which belongs to 0, pi. It means we can say principal value of cos inverse under root 3 upon 2, this is equals to pi by 6, and pi by 6 lie between 0 to pi in closed interval. So this is the way of solving the question which is related with principal value. Now I am taking question number 6 of same exercise, and this time question is tan inverse bracket -1. We have to calculate the principal value of tan inverse bracket -1. So how can we will solve it? So first we will write let y equals to tan inverse -1. Then we will write, we know that range is also known as principal value branch. So we know that range of tan inverse is open interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So y equals to tan inverse, then minus sign as it is, and the table of tan, one is possible at tan pi by 4. But we know very well, as per the concept of quadrant, tan minus theta can be written as minus tan theta. So same concept we will apply here. Therefore, we can say y equals to tan inverse tan minus pi by 4. So tan and tan inverse cancel, and we can say y equals to minus pi by 4, or put the value of y. The value of y is tan inverse minus 1. This is equals to minus pi by 4, which is the member of open interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So this is the way of solving the question which is related with principal value branch. It means we can say the principal value of tan inverse minus 1 is minus pi by 4. Now I am taking one more question which is related with exercise 2.2, and the question number is (16). This is exercise 2.2, question number 16, and this time we have to calculate the principal value branch or value of this type of inverse trigonometric functions. So how can we will start? How can we will give the answer? Let y equals to sine inverse sine 2 pi by 3. So as per previous, first we will write the range or principal value branch of sine inverse function. So we will write, we know that range of sine inverse is closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So if we cancel direct here sine inverse with sine, then we will get 2 pi by 3, and 2 pi by 3 is not the member of this interval. So here we will go with the concept of quadrant. So y equals to sine inverse sine, and 2 pi by 3 can be written as pi minus pi by 3. After this, y equals to sine inverse, and in second quadrant sine pi minus theta. It means we are in second quadrant, or in second quadrant sine is positive, that's why it can be written as sine pi by 3. It is better if we mention here sine pi minus theta is sine theta due to second quadrant. So sine inverse cancel with sine, and we will get y equals to pi by 3, or it can be written as, if we put the value of y, the value of y is sine inverse sine sine 2 pi by 3, which is equivalent to pi by 3, and pi by 3 is the member of that particular range related with sine inverse. So this is the way of solving the question related with principal value branch. I hope with the help of these questions you will solve the another question which is related with principal value branch. And as you know very well, this time some portions are already removed from the CBSE course. So in this chapter you have to focus only on principal value branch and the question which are related with principal value branch of inverse trigonometric functions. Thank you very much.